Hey guys, it's Ash and P.
Hey,
I just realized
sorry.
oh gosh, I don't know that that's any better.
Well, I can't be worse than I look right now.
No,
I've literally been like this all day. Go Packers. We've fun, this and one. But, um,
You're so crazy. It's fine.
yeah, I went running around like this today.
Well, I would have too.
It's one of those times right now where it's like, it's fine in the morning and it's like feels good. And then by the afternoon, it's like hot.
Gosh, I know.
And so you're not quite sure how to dress,
Oh,
for the full day, if you're out for the full day.
if I were you, I would dress in tank tops and shorts all
I
day,
was
every day.
going to wear shorts. I just was like,
I
don't know.
would.
I was a little, so I know. Well, and I have to tell you, I had to go grocery shopping because we have to be good. We are in countdown mode to the wedding.
Yeah.
The newlyweds, till death do us part. They were on, not newlyweds, soon to be newlyweds. We're on last week, and we're on countdown mode. So I can't have, pooch, belly. I'm trying to be good.
Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to look less disgusting to myself.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if that's really gonna work. I
Um,
want to see that junk. You did good. See, I've started, but I just am trying not to eat, I guess, because I've not gone grocery shopping.
so I'm like, okay. I hate grocery shopping. That's why I Instacart
No.
my life. If I could.
Yeah, why didn't you Instacart?
Do you know why? Because I'm really being cheap. Okay.
Okay. No,
And
that's
I was
everything's
like,
expensive.
everything is so expensive. My grocery bills are through the roof.
Yeah.
And we were out of a lot of things because we've just been so busy. We've been like picking up food and eating what we have. And it's just been a mess. We've not been eating good. I don't know when in my life I've had so much Panda Express, pizza, Deli Delicious.
I never know you to have as much.
It's been crazy. So I'm like, this is disgusting. I need to cut it out. Like, we need to stop. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store, and every time I go to this grocery store, it's like one of those, like, it's an on guard grocery store, right? I have to watch my surroundings, watch where I am.
You went to the Clovis one though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But there was that shooting.
Oh,
The last time I was there, the last time I had gone, it was like the day before they had a shoot. Like, a guy came up to a girl getting in her car and, like, tried to rob her, and she fought back, and then he shot, I don't know if he shot at her, but he, like, shot his gun, and yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was like a big thing. So Tony is like, can you please be careful when you go there? I do not like you going there. And that was
You should have gone to mine.
And that was in the middle of, like, that was in the morning. That was not like at night or anything crazy.
You should have gone to the Southeast Fresno one.
I guess so.
No, I'm sure that kind of stuff happens more.
So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, like, be good, though. I'm, like, on a budget, and I need chicken because I need a meal prep.
Yeah.
And they're the cheapest place in town, even though they've gone up 22 cents.
They're the cheapest?
They're the cheapest.
I thought Walmart
Nope.
was.
They're over $2 a pound in Walmart.
That's
Walmart,
good to know.
Walmart is $2.28 a pound or something like that. They used to be $1.97 a pound. Winco used to be $1.78 a pound, and now they are $1.97.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I was not aware of this.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Maybe Tuesday I'll go grocery shopping on my way home.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is we dropped my ring off to get it dipped and cleaned.
Okay.
And I was
recently did that.
supposed to get it Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was sick, so I didn't go.
Well, you sound very sexy. I mean, you could make us some really
I
good money right
I-
now.
I sounded better Thursday than I do now, but my throat was not
Yeah.
good Thursday. But so I was supposed to go, didn't even leave the house. Like, I was not good. All last week, I didn't take the boys to karate because,
You were very busy looking at flowers for me. I appreciate it.
well, that was on the day I stayed home sick. I'm just like on the couch. But yeah, I didn't take the boys to karate. Um, didn't go anywhere Thursday. And then Friday, we had a concert, which I think is partially
I'm sure.
this.
Yeah.
Like my throat was already a little scratchy,
Right.
and then I went and yelled like a loser,
Yeah.
dumb. So I didn't get it then. We had just the party yesterday, but it wasn't all day. I think just like time wise, it wouldn't have been a good thing for Jason to go pick it up. And then I was calling. She messaged at Costco earlier, and I'm like, huh? So now she's probably trying to explain her weird text. Yeah, this is welcome to my brain that this is the way normal conversations go.
Yeah.
Priscilla,
Yeah.
like, okay,
It's
so
totally
we're on.
normal.
But just like the boys had haircuts, I was coming to help, things like that. And so I guess maybe it just didn't make sense. And they're closed on Sundays. So I didn't get my ring. Don't remember why I started talking about that.
I don't know, but you can get it tomorrow, right?
Oh, that's why I started talking. No,
Okay.
because I have karate tomorrow.
Mm.
And then I was going to go shopping on Tuesday. But if I go shopping Tuesday, then the jewelry store would be closed. So I'd have to wait until Thursday to get my ring. I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't wear it to work. I just wear the silicone one.
Okay. I can't find my silicone one. I need to find it. No. I need to find it. I cannot find
Just
it.
hidden.
I don't know what size I am. I know. I'm a loser.
Well, remember Jason. Oh, I was right about my ring size, by the way. Jason was wrong. Jason tried to say I had bigger fingers than I do. And I did tell the guy, because I was like, can you tell me the size of my engagement ring? And so he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, thank you. I was like, he was trying to tell me the wrong size. And I know I've gained weight, but my ring did not grow.
Yeah.
Like it
It
just
sometimes
stays my
does.
finger now.
Yeah, but sometimes it does. Like your fingers swell.
Well, my fingers do, but my rings don't.
Oh, let me ask you this about your ring, because I hear this a lot, and this is a topic that Tony and I have had. Do you, I think I know your answer because I know you, but do you guys have been married for 14 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you, year 15, year 20, want a new wedding ring?
No.
Okay. Why?
Because it is very sentimental to me.
When he got your ring, did you pick it out?
No.
He picked it out.
Yes.
Did you automatically love your ring?
So, okay, a little caveat.
Okay.
My wedding band is a different style. No, I'm sorry. My engagement band is a different style. Same diamond, but it was a very basic band. And it was like too thin for Jason. He didn't like it. He wanted cathedral setting. I would have done fine with it was just standard wedding band or engagement band, right? Like just basic, nothing to it. And he didn't like that it was so thin or anything like that. So I did let him change that. But
why did he buy it in the first place?
Well, because a friend of ours was able to get him a discount.
Oh.
So it was the size, like the diamond was what he wanted.
But it was just the band. So does the band sit with the ring, or is it two separate pieces and then you soldered together?
Yeah, so all of them were separate and I soldered together.
You have three now. Because you kept the other one, the thinner one.
No.
Oh, no?
I don't even know what we did with that, to be honest.
So you have your band that he replaced.
Yeah. So
you have your wedding ring.
And then he got me an extra one.
When? What year?
It wasn't even like a number. I want to say like maybe a year. My kid's calling my husband. So I want to say, oh, they're outside on. Sorry, you guys, if you can hear that. I want to say like maybe year 9. It wasn't like
a big fun, like monumental one or anything.
No.
So I ask you this because I hear people say these things. And Tony asked me recently, he said, would you ever want to change your ring? And I said, absolutely not. I freaking love my ring. The only thing I would want is I would want the top band to have 3.
Yeah.
That's it. And and I don't need it, but that would
be... Did you help him pick that out?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say,
No.
How did he know?
He knew the style I liked. He had asked me before, so of course he creates a Pinterest wall for me. He speaks my love language. You know, he's like, put rings on here that you like and the style you like. And I'm like, okay. Genius. So I did.
Hey, real quick side note. Any guys out there that may be getting engaged, do that for your girl. Hello. Do it like a year in advance.
Yeah, it was. It was plenty in it. It was plenty of time in advance.
But that's
it wasn't
genius.
Like early.
That's genius.
Yeah. And so he picked the ring. And I'm like, I love my ring.
I love
your ring. And he said the other day, he goes, I love your ring.
Yeah.
Like, I still love your ring. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I would never want to change my ring.
No. No, I love yours.
Yeah.
It's like, and the funniest thing is that you're not a big frills girl.
And I'm not.
Right? You know, like, I always say, you're so, like, to me, you're so feminine in the way that you dress so cute. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're like, I'm always just, you don't always, when you go to a dinner or when you are going to a party, you're not wearing your workout clothes, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about when I'm
not running around windmill like this.
Yeah, when you're, when you get yourself ready for an event or whatever. Well, not even that. Like the birthday party yesterday, you look so cute. Maybe it's because you have a cute little figure and stuff that things just look cute on you too. But like you look cute. You're obviously, you love the gym. You love that kind of stuff. You're not afraid to get dirty. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're not. But you're not like, I feel like you're pretty simple for the most part,
Yeah.
Like you don't wear a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
No,
I feel like your ring is very detailed, very beautiful. It's very specific.
It is very
specific. Mine's very basic.
It is very specific.
It's so beautiful.
And I feel like it's my one, like I'm not a jewelry person, so it's like my one thing.
I mean, you have some like statement necklaces and stuff.
I do have some. I mean, I love a good, elephant husk on my neck.
Was it elephant?
No, it's not.
Okay, I was like,
it's not really elephant husk. I don't know. No, it's like buffalo horns or something.
Okay. Do they die if you take their horns too?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I have to read.
I'm not going to be offended by it. We were going to get a free buffalo. It wasn't going to come with the horns and everything. It was going to be just the meat. But
have you ever eaten buffalo?
No.
I've had a buffalo burger.
Oh yeah, that's very popular. I think.
Yeah, I was young. I was living in Oregon, and they made these buffalo burgers. No, I'm lying. I was not living in Oregon. The guy came from hunting in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, this was back in my younger days.
Back when we had a memory.
And he came from hunting with like his family.
Okay.
And we were all getting together at his house, and he had these buffalo burgers that they did. They were delicious.
They are. Mm-hmm. I'm wishing that we would have gotten that buffalo.
Yeah.
Jason's a slacker.
Yeah.
I don't think we got in on time. What are you gonna do?
Is that from his
tribe?
From the tribe?
Yeah. They I don't know if it was because of COVID or what, but Each member was supposed to get a buffalo, and I should have asked my in-laws if they got theirs.
Yeah.
Because she's on the roll,
So it's interesting, speaking of families, I've been really thinking about this because we've had a lot of things that have come up and we're getting ready for this wedding.
Yes.
And it's just, there's been so many different dynamics. Things are changing even in my husband's family, like their dynamics are changing.
Yeah.
Just people, everything, it's just a lot of change.
Right.
Which happens. But it's interesting to see people's family dynamics and the different ways people do different things. And I don't know. It's so crazy to me. Do you know what's weird about it is I feel like our families are probably very similar.
I think
and that's probably why we discuss people with our love, because I feel like it's just normal. Like your family and your world there is totally normal for me.
Right.
And my world of my family is totally normal for you.
Yeah.
And we just roll with it. And like, I think even our siblings, our parents just kind of all like take, like they take to you, they take to me. Yes. I don't ever feel out of place when I'm with your family.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like you ever really feel out of place when you're with my family.
No, I pretty much pretend like I am a part of the family.
Right. That's what I felt. I'm like, talking to Wendy like, Mom, you know.
Yeah.
What's that? What's on your gut?
Oh goodness, yes.
But it feels like it's just so comfortable.
Yeah.
And then you get into these other family dynamics and you're like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
It is weird. I feel like because I think there's, and I don't know, I guess my brothers are, I was going to say, I feel like in some families there's more openness.
Yeah.
Whether it be, like we are very open. We talk a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
you and your siblings talk all the time.
Well, I've been so bad. My brother called me. Well, I told you. You remember he called when we were getting ready to record, and he's like, "Hey, I'm your brother," in case you forgot. Which I really do need to call him because I feel like I haven't talked to him forever. But like very close, talking like that. They know if I'm mad at them. I know if they're mad at me. I mean, we normally squash it really quick. You know, it's not something that goes on forever. And we share. But, there's not a whole lot of secrets or anything like that. I think I am way more open and comfortable with, like, maybe sexuality stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm a girl or I kind of think it's just me.
I think it's you. I think it's your personality, and you're the oldest.
And I don't know why. But, like, it's kind of weird to me, like, why? Like, why am I not?
But I think it's interesting because I feel like your brothers are manly men. You know, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Right.
They are, they have labor intensive jobs. They are manly men.
Like yours are too.
And so are mine. Yes. But I also feel like you are that, but in a girl, like I think you are like, you're tough and you're you're strong.
In the wrong body.
All the time I'm like, and I just told this to, actually it was to Sheila.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was talking to Tristan's karate instructor, right? Mm-hmm. Like the owner of the company. And I said, here's the thing, like I grew up in a generation and I'm from for me, like I'm not afraid to get dirty, and I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty and work hard and sweat and be grimy and whatever. And I'm tough.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
See, I'm not so tough, I don't think.
I think you are. It's just in different ways. I think you are. But but I tell him like, but I'm still I'm still a woman. And I'm still loved by womanism
yes,
about
absolutely.
me.
Like, I do always say, like, yeah, I was born in the wrong body. Like, I should be the husband and that kind of thing. But more because I'm not super domestic. And I feel like, when women complain about their husbands,
you think of it as you.
Yeah. And like, so her girlfriends, if they're talking about their husbands, I'm like, you guys, I'm so sorry because like I don't have anything to add about Jason because Jason doesn't do those things. But I'm sorry because I am your husband. Like, I don't always put my laundry where it goes. Sometimes Jason does. I will like leave the dishes in the sink after dinner's done until I'm ready to wash them. Like, I don't need to wash them right away.
Jason just housewived all the guys at the bachelor party and took care of them all.
I know. That was so funny when Jolene was like, how did you cook for so many people so quick? I don't quite know what that means. But
they were all hungover, I think, so things went faster.
Than they thought. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not the domestic one, and I do say that. But no, I don't ever mean that I want to be a man.
No,
I don't. And I know I'm different than a man.
I know, and that's what I'm like. I've been called many names. I've been called a B word.
Yeah, me too.
I've been called an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called mean.
Yeah.
I've been called, rude. I've been called many names, and I'm not saying I'm none of those things because maybe I am. I don't really know, and I don't really care. Right. But I will say, and for those who know me, I love with all of my heart.
Oh yeah.
And I will protect and I will do and I will do anything for the people that I love.
Oh yeah.
But I have boundaries.
Oh yes. Yes.
And I set those boundaries.
Right. And it's not surprising.
I don't feel
like I know there are certain things that if I had that character trait, or you're not interested in people who are not loyal.
No.
You're not interested in whiners.
No.
People that are wusses.
No.
You're not okay with. You also expect the same loyalty in return.
I do.
So
I do.
Because you are.
Because I
would
give
do
it.
anything.
I would give anything.
And so if someone else isn't giving that, then it's hard for you.
It is hard. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to go over here because I need that right in front of me. It doesn't mean that I don't still care about you.
Right.
It just means that now you've got to take a step back in my book because I need to know, like, if I need you, I can count on you.
Right.
And you know what? And you can always count on me.
Right.
I will always be there for you.
Yeah. It's not a shocker. I feel like you're
I'm
pretty open book.
I'm a pretty open book.
You are.
Like it or not, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much there.
Yeah.
But I will say I am and this is where I feel like maybe I have that little bit more testosterone in me where I'm like, I'm a no bullshitter. Like, cut the bullshit with me.
Yeah.
Like, let's just cut it. It's fine. I don't have to like it. I don't always like it.
I kind of think part of that is that you, maybe, I don't know if this is the right way to explain it, but you've got a lot going on. You're pretty busy. And I feel like it's just like, get to the point. Like, I don't have time for it kind of thing. It's not necessarily that, like, you want to be mean to anyone, but it's like, give it to me straight and give it to me fast. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Let's
and
do
I
it.
think it's because you are a very A-type person.
Yeah.
And
that does not fit in everyone's book.
No.
That is not good for every person.
Right.
And I'm totally okay with that. And,
I mean, not
and
everyone's going to
but you know
like
what? There
us.
are so many things. I look at it now and I think, I mean, granted, I think a lot of it has to do with maturing and growing up and things. But I look at like my husband's family, like Tony's family, is not like my family.
Right.
We didn't grow up the same at all.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that I have taken away from his family
Oh,
that
yeah.
have made my family
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like luckily his family is open to listening to me.
Yes.
And I think that there are things that I've been able to bring to the table
Yeah.
too. But I take away so much from them.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so capable, like we're so capable of, as humans, of doing that.
Yeah.
And taking from other people, like the good.
Yes.
The good.
Yes.
But it's so interesting to see some of the dynamics.
Yeah. People can, well, I mean, like,
I love, like, my takeaway from your family is, like, and I suck at this, and I will admit it, I totally suck at it, but in my head, I'm always thinking of you going, I need to be better at making time for my grandparents.
oh,
Like, that is my trigger with you.
you're sweet.
Like, that's always my trigger with you and your family is, like, I need to make more time for my grandparents because, geez, if that girl could do it, I could do it, you know? And, like, that's always a thing for me. And I just feel like as humans, as people, like, we can really learn from other people's families.
Yeah.
But it's also just it's strange to sit back and watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure you notice even within your own family that because, you know, my brothers and I, we all grew up the same, you know.
But you're all going to run your homes different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are things that it's like I didn't even know my brother felt this way or, you know, whatever about certain things.
Like what? Like what's...
Well, so, I don't know if I should use that example. My brothers got into a pretty big fight about my brother's gun on Christmas or Thanksgiving. I don't remember which holiday. But one of my brothers had his gun and, you know, safety and everything, but he had it on the table because he was sitting down. So, you know, sits funny in the pocket kind of thing. And my other brother was like, do you have to have it on the table or something like that? And the way he brought it up, my other brother got very,
busy.
Yeah, he was just like, why couldn't you just ask me to, you know, whatever. And then they also butted heads. So both of my brothers went to Tennessee. I mean, years and years in the summer, they would go over there. And my grandpa, you know, they would do all kinds of stuff with my grandpa. My grandpa absolutely loved guns. And so they would go shooting a lot and clean the guns and all that. And I went out one summer, and the first thing my grandpa made us do was watch the gun safety videos. You know, I mean, this was back before DVDs and stuff, so it was like VHS.
Yeah.
But my grandpa, watching this, and you watched them, and you learned everything, right?
Wow.
Like, it was safe handling of guns.
Yeah.
No BS, you know, none of that. Like, you're going to be around guns, whatever. You're going to be safe. You're going to know how to do all of this stuff. You're going to be safe. And so I think my brother who had the gun got a little bit pissed too because my brother was like, that's not safe. And he's like, how is it not safe? How many guns shoot people by themselves? Like, you know about gun safety. So what are you, like, why are you getting, and they just, like, one of my brothers had been drinking, and so there was a lot of emotion on his side and that kind of thing, which I could see, you know, I might have felt uncomfortable if, you know, my kids were around, maybe, I don't know. But they butted heads.
But your brother with the gun had not been drinking.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So he's clear mind. He's a sound clear mind going, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's also just sibling rivalry.
Yes,
and
which is why I'm like, I think part of it was they butted heads because they both know, and my one brother was
so. Granted, you have multiple siblings. We've talked about this. We've gone through the family tree. There's multiple siblings. Your core of the three of you is always pretty much together at functions.
Yes.
And I feel like my core is
all of you
guys. All of us.
For the most
part. Like the three are kind of in and out, you know, quite a bit. So I would say minus the 3 is a 6, right? Yeah. And it's interesting, and it's going to be very interesting in the next few years. I think I've got a couple of nephews now. It'll be interesting to see how everyone else starts to raise their kids too.
Yes.
And where that goes, because I think that's a big thing. Like that's a game changer. I mean, even between friends, you know, we have friends and we're like, we know, like they're, whether it's that they're more routine. I feel like I'm probably the most routine. No, maybe not. But I feel like I'm pretty.
You're
routine.
Pretty routine. Sorry.
I'm pretty routine with my kids, but I'm like I make adjustments as far as like, look, it's the weekend,
right? Yeah.
If they go to bed an hour, like whatever. It's not that end of the world. Tomorrow we don't have. I've scheduled ahead, so it's like we don't really have anything going on. It'll be fine, or whatever. But there are some parents that are like, We were just talking to a friend of ours who was like, hey, you know, like I'm dealing with that on my end. It's like it's a sibling, and they are like, no, because my kid has to be at bed at this exact time, and so. Your deal is not going to work into my schedule.
Yeah, like I'm going to do something earlier. Like we're going to have to visit earlier.
Yeah.
And you can visit with everyone else all together, but I have to do it earlier because my kid needs to.
Everyone figures out their own routine, and I think kids throw a wrench in all of it. And you know what? The first one, you might be able to think that that's going to stick, and by 1 or 2 after, you know, you might have to realize you might have to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, I mean, Tristan and Gigi are so far apart that Tristan didn't necessarily get impacted negatively. No. Like her schedule didn't mess up when Gigi came. But when Danny came, then like it kind of, I mean, they still go around the same time, you know?
Yeah.
But it does change things. It does change it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're now wrangling 2 kids, you know? But yeah, everyone's different. I mean, my brothers are complete opposite the way they parent their children. Totally opposite. I feel like I'm more in the middle-ish. Yeah. Probably a little closer to my baby brother's side than my middle brother. I wish I was more like my middle brother. He's more stern and that kind of thing, but I'm a little wuss when it comes to, like, Hayden. It was different because Hayden, I think because he reminds me a lot like me, so I'm harder on him. So when he would be crying, a lot of times it was like whining. But like Jackson didn't cry a lot, and so when he cried, it was like I broke his heart, and then I'm like, it's my heart, you know?
Yeah.
So like that kind of thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because so I am like I feel my different relationships with all of my kids based on their personality.
Oh yeah,
and what they need, right? Yeah. What they all need is very different from me. You know, they all need me, but they all need me in different almost ways.
Yes.
And Georgia is not like me in the sense of I feel like she's way more emotional. But I also feel like I'm an emotional person too.
Yeah.
I'm just like it takes a lot to get to that point for me. But I am that way. But she's like me too in the sense of like she has drive. And she has like she wants to like push herself, and she wants to be strong, and she wants to do all of those things. And it's funny because I was doing something the other day, and Tristan came out, and she said she was talking about something for school, and I said, you should just write about me. I mean, I should be your hero. I should be your hero. I'm your mother.
Yeah.
And I was saying it jokingly, and she's like, that might work for Georgia. You might get that with her. And I was like, okay, so she knows I'm not going to get it with her, and I'm not going to get it with Danny, probably.
Yeah. But you said that Danny and Tristan are similar.
They are very similar.
Yeah.
They're very, but Tristan was way easier than Danny.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny is like she's going to make everyone work for their dollar.
Yes.
Like she is.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, no. But I think
but they're like very rolling off my back.
Yeah.
Both of them. Said I'm
things
sorry.
don't affect them as much.
You know. And Georgia,
kind of a little more easygoing. Mean, Danny is the one that you're going to have to yell at her because she's doing all the stuff that you're like, don't do that.
Yeah, and she's still doing it. And then you tell her and you feel like the worst person because you just talked to her so awful. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then she's like, so do I get it? Like, she's like, she's moved on already. And you're like,
where Georgia, like, if you say one thing,
she holds it. And she holds it in. So at soccer this week, by the way, this is nothing like what we're going to talk about.
No, it's not. I know. Another day.
Okay, so we're at soccer. And can I tell you, oh my God, you need to come to their games.
No, I'm going to come, well, not next weekend.
And not the next weekend. Is in 3 weeks.
Is the next weekend.
The Shore.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at the same time. It's at the same time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the girls are, this is Georgia's second or third year of soccer. I think third. Third, yeah. Third year of soccer. Danny's first. Danny always wanted to play, though. Like, she just saw Big Sis. She wanted to play.
Yes.
So I put him on the same team. The same coach from T-ball, so he knows the girls. Yes. They know the girls. They're easy to work with. I love the wife. She's, like, on top of it with her schedules and her everything.
I love that. I'm going to message his mom after this.
I really, really adore her. I think she's super sweet. And I'm like, hey, I don't have to be that mom. Sign me up. I'll follow you wherever you want to go. Yeah. I don't care if we have the crappiest team, which we do probably. So we get on this team, and I hadn't gone out to a couple of the practices because I've been busy at work.
Right.
And so I went out to the first game, and I was like, okay, there's Georgia and one other boy that are really dominating the field.
Yeah.
And Danny's, trying to figure it out. So, okay, that's fine. That's normal. That's typical. And then the next week we have a bye week, and I have a work thing, so it works out. They do pictures, yada, yada. So this weekend was their second game. And granted, during practice, I noticed this last week. I go to practice. I hadn't been to practice. I go to practice, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching, and I'm like, their kids are still little, 3 to 5, 5.5. So they're still real little, but a lot of kids not even on the field. And then there's like 2 little boys, and they're wrestling on the field.
From the same team?
Yes, they're brothers.
Yeah.
And the mom was actually really funny. She's like, I think I got him in the wrong sport. I think they should be in wrestling, not soccer. So I'm like, oh, she sees it. She gets it. Whatever. Right. And so we go to the game, and so here's my stance with kids in sports. And I say this because if you have little ones and you have not put them in sports yet, you have to let the coach coach.
Yes.
And the kids need to learn from a very young age, that is your coach.
Right.
And you are to respect him, and you are to listen to him, and you are to follow his orders.
Right.
Now, I get that the coach with a bunch of 3 and 5-year-olds can't do it all, you know?
Right.
And
especially
it's
like a
okay.
volunteer coach, you know?
And it's okay on the sidelines to like, you know, hey, get him, do this, do that, go over there, whatever. But I feel like I had a real hard time last year with soccer because there were literally the same amount of parents on the field as there were kids. They were holding their kids' hands
and
running
not on her team though.
Yes, on her team. Remember.
Oh, this is year 2.
This is year 2.
So this
is not when Nemo's was the coach.
Yeah.
This is the next year. And I was
Did I miss all of those games?
You guys came to one. You came to one. And I was like, why are these parents running with their kids?
Yeah.
It drives me bonkers. Because I'm like, you are not teaching your kids anything. No. Let them go out there. And you know what? If this isn't their thing, they don't have to do it again next year. Right. But you need to let them go out there. You, as mommy, need to back off. Yeah. And let them go. And
if they're not going to go because you're not out there with them, don't get out there.
No.
It is not fair to the other kids who actually want to play.
And I had a parent literally kick the ball away from my kid.
Oh.
She was trying.
So I remember you telling me that.
So I was like, I cannot stand this. I mean, I made a complaint to the league, and I was like, look, I'm not trying to be super competitive, but I'm just saying this isn't right, and these parents need to get off the field. This is a kid's sport. This is not a parent sport.
Right.
If you want to play soccer, go join an adult league. Get off the field.
Yeah.
And so I was so bothered with it. So anyway, we're in a different league. We're with this team, and we had that one. First game, I had one parent out there I saw on our team running with their kid, and I was like, oh God, please, Lord Jesus, please don't give me the same team that I had last year, because I just can't take it.
Yeah.
And so I will say, I know everyone's going to say, she's so mean, but I'm like, hey, you fall down, you get up. Don't cry. Don't come to me. It's okay. It's okay. And I will comfort them and like rub their back, but I'm going to say, it's okay. You're fine. Get out there. This is part of sports. You fall down, you get back up. Yeah. Someone takes the ball from you, guess what? Get out there and get more aggressive, and you get the ball. And that is what we've taught our girls.
Yes.
And that is both of us, and Tony came from a very athletic background.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, you go out there and you fight for your ball. And I'm like, hey, don't let anyone take your ball away from you. You go get it. Yeah. That's the sport. So you leave it on the field, right? On the field, it's different. Yes. To me, it's like on the field, it's different. What we change once we come off,
right.
You know?
Right.
And so I'm trying to instill that into my girls. And we play this team, and it's Georgia, basically. It's Georgia against one little boy on the other team. And he is literally shoving with his hands and pushing, and his coach isn't doing anything about it. The parents aren't.
Did the coach
nothing
look at
nothing?
All?
He was on the sidelines. Our coach was on the field with the whistle, and he was trying to he was being good about hey, no hands, we don't cut, we don't, we don't, and it's hard because you want to teach the kids it's okay to push your body,
right?
But they only know this. They're 5 and 4, And so my girls are starting to cry, and I'm like, you don't cry. It's okay. It's a game. It's sports. It's okay. I know it's not right. Get out there. And then he wasn't stopping. So then I'm like, okay, you push back.
Yeah.
You push back. Now, typically I would tell them how to push with their with their shoulders, use their body weight, which Georgia actually was doing a really good job. But I'm like, if he pushes you, you push him back, and you get that ball from him. It's okay. So I'm sound like the crazy mom at church playing soccer.
I don't think so.
But I'm like, no, you get out there and you get that ball from him.
Yeah.
And Georgia comes out and she starts kind of crying again, and I go, hey, it's okay. You're all right. You're tough. it's okay. And she's like, he's pushing. I go, I know. And you know what? Sometimes in sports, boys are going to push you. Girls are going to push you. You have to go ahead and you have to push back. It's okay. When you're doing the sport, it's okay. It's not okay in the classroom. It's not okay on the playground. It's okay right here on the field. So you get out there and you fight for your ball. You get that ball and you fight. And they did amazing. But I have to tell you, I'm talking to her, and this mom comes up to me. And granted, her daughter is on the side, has not played the entire game because she's crying and she doesn't want to play. And so she comes up to me and she goes, hi, Georgia. She's like, do you want me to go on the field with you? I'm talking to my daughter. And you come up and ask if you want my daughter to go on if she wants to go on the field with you. And I looked at her.
Wouldn't you go?
Wouldn't I go? Do you know, she didn't say to me even like, do you want me to take her? You know, she said it to her.
Yeah.
And I go, Tony's like, oh my gosh. He's like so embarrassed. And I go, no, she doesn't. She doesn't need someone to walk her on the field. She's perfectly fine. She's tough. She's going to get back out and she's going to keep playing. And I'm like, hey.
What was Mom's response to you?
She said nothing. And she said nothing. She walked away. And she said nothing the rest of the time.
Has she done snacks yet?
No.
Your daughter's getting her stuff spit in.
I know, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. But I told Tony, I'm like, look, everybody's going to parent different.
Yeah.
Okay? And if that's your thing and that's your little girl, and the parents like were like, these 8:30 games are really tough. You know, it's really hard. My kid's still asleep at that point. Like, that's great. My kids are up at fucking 6 o'clock every single morning. They don't give a shit what day it is.
Right.
Okay, so by 8:30, no, they're prime. They're good.
Right.
They've had breakfast. They're ready to go. Let's get some energy out, and let's hope we get a nap soon after. So I'm like, it's fine. Everyone's going to parent different, but I'm like, don't come up to my daughter.
No, and that's right.
Okay. And the coach comes up to me and he's like, I said, he wasn't letting down. And so I told the girls to go out there. And him and Danny started pushing each other back and forth. You know, and eventually Danny got knocked down and she started crying. And I was like, it's okay, get back up, you know. But he goes, no. He goes, I wanted them to fight. I wanted them to be like, hey, you're tough. Get out there. Because he came up to them and he's like, good job, girls. You held in there. Georgia, you did so good. And, you know, she was making all the goals for the team.
Right.
While Danny was picking her nose. But I'm like, and I even told Danny at some point, I said, hey, that little boy, she didn't want to play. And I said, she wanted to come out. And I go, that little boy is pushing your sister. Are you going to let him push your sister? I was like, you get out there and you help your sister right now. And she did. She went out there and she fought for it, you know? And I'm like, I guess it's like, it's fine if that's the way you want to raise, you know, your kids. And I mean, I can't say anything about that. If maybe your kids are more sensitive and whatever. And hell, maybe my kids are more sensitive and I'm just not. But that is not the way I'm going to raise my girls. Yeah. I'm going to raise my girls to fight back and you get that ball and don't let anyone take it away from you. And I don't care if it's a boy or a girl.
And that's a little, it's a little different, but it's kind of like when people give you unsolicited advice. Like, I don't need you to tell me how to parent my kid.
Right.
You know, like,
yes,
I am doing it. Yep. I don't need you to tell me what I should be doing. But I especially don't need you to ask my kid if they want something when they're 4.
Right.
If this is what they...
Right.
Excuse me? No.
Yeah. Butt out. I do not even know you.
Yeah.
I don't even know your kid. I have no idea who you are. And no, I'm having a mommy-daughter moment. Back up. Go handle your own
It wasn't like you were like on the phone ignoring your kid. You're sitting here having a conversation with her.
Right. And I'm like, what is...
Yeah.
I don't even understand. So my whole thing about it is, it's like, you know, respect other people's families and look, I have no problem. Her daughter may be just more sensitive than mine and maybe more than me. I mean, I'm telling you, maybe my kids are more sensitive. I will tell you that I feel like Georgia is very competitive and she's driven like with her activity to be, you know, better.
She wants to win.
She wants to win. She wants to be good. But like you were saying about how she'll hold on to things.
Yeah.
So I said to her, because she was crying, he knocked her down a couple of times. And I said, you know what? I go, her cousin, right? Callie, our singer, Callie Grace. I said, Callie played soccer for years, Georgia, and she would fall down all the time. I'm like, someone would hit her, someone would push her, she would trip, whatever. She would fall down, but you know what? She always got back up, and she always fought for that ball.
Yeah.
And
did
so
that kind of lift her spirits?
I thought it did, but then Tony goes, she came over to the side and she was like, Mom said I'm not like Callie.
Oh my gosh.
Give me a break, kid.
Yeah.
And but then she fights it, and then she fights for it, and then she makes the goal, and then she's over there giving me the biggest high five.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I do, and I don't want to sound like I'm talking trash about anybody's parenting, but you said, maybe the kid is more sensitive. Do you wonder if the kid is more sensitive because of the parenting?
Oh, for sure.
Because, I feel, I don't know how much we've discussed it, but I feel like each generation, even some in our generation, but each generation after is softer and softer and softer. Yeah. Just a bunch of weak people.
Yeah.
No backbone. Mm-hmm. No real opinions, because you can only do and say what you're allowed to do and say based
correct. On what everyone is currently saying is politically correct.
Yeah, whatever has been okayed by the PC police. Yeah. And I feel like things like that are what's causing.
Right.
Hayden told me before, Mom, I think you're a good mom, but I think you should have spanked us more. I really do. I think I would probably be better if I had been spanked more. And I'm like, you're dang right, you probably would have. And you're right, I should have. But there were occasions where I didn't, you know what I mean? But he recognizes it, that that punishment does get behavior changes and responses.
And you know what?
Not that you should punish your kid if they're crying. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying, but maybe we don't always been.
I think that we have I think that as parents, I'm just going to broadcast it like a blank slate. As parents, I think that we have a hard time a lot of times because we want to nourish our children. We want to give them the love and affection that sometimes we didn't even see in our own families. Yeah. Except that we want to be stern and we want to be strict because we want to have rules, because we know rules create boundaries, and boundaries create good citizens in a sense. If we didn't have any laws, don't you think it'd be the Wild Wild West still, right? So laws, regulations, rules, they're all there. Guidelines, they're all there for a reason. But as parents, we want to nourish and we want to, and we want to comfort our kids. I am a little bit of a hard knocks parent. Yeah. And I realize that. And I know that's not for everyone. But I also feel like, don't feed me the, you just need to love your kids. Yeah. And be there for them. And then they're going to just be the best people ever. Yeah. It's not going to happen. It's not. And I say that in thinking, I have a 17-year-old. Yeah. I have a 17-year-old, and she is not a bad kid. Right. She's a very good kid. Yes. She has been a very easy kid in the sense of, look, she wasn't trying to sneak out of her window. She wasn't running away. She wasn't doing drugs. She wasn't sleeping around. She wasn't lying and doing all this crazy shit. Yes. But she hasn't always been the easiest kid. Right. Either. And she still can be push my boundaries with her mouth. Oh, yeah. And don't think that for a second I'm going to say, that was so disrespectful. You need a hug. You know what? I think you need to go think about that.
Yeah,
You
no.
need to take a time out. And now that you're 17, we're going to do 17 minutes because we do 1 minute for every year of your age. No, I'm going to tell her, who the hell do you think you are? Don't you ever talk to me that way. Don't you ever look at me that way.
Yeah.
You better change your tone right now or your door's coming off. Your phone is coming in my room. I will not have it. You will have no life. I mean, that is the tone. Yeah. And that is, unfortunately, what makes the difference because I am not going to allow I said, no, don't you ever talk to me like that. I mean, you, and she knows, I'm like, you want to set me off? It's going to be talk to me disrespectfully and we're going to have it. It's over.
Yeah, don't roll your eyes. I know. And
that's where we are, you know, like that's, for the most part, it's tamed a lot in the last year, but it's been like, she said it to me the other day. She said something and she was like, I'm not doing that. And I was like, you're not what? Excuse me? You're not what?
Yeah.
Don't ever tell me what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. You do what I tell you to do. You don't like it? Go find another house that's going to support you. Oh, you can't. So you better figure it out and change your tune. I'm like, And I told her, like, do you think that it would ever be okay for your sister to talk to me that way?
Oh, no. And I guarantee you she'd be all over her sister.
All over her sister.
Hayden just did that to Jackson today. Jackson said something, and it wasn't even, like, horrible, but it was, like, a little attitude-y. And Hayden's like, hey, don't talk to Mom like that. You respect her. And I was like, well, thank you, Hayden. And are you listening to yourself?
You know, it's like, remember this.
But I'm like, oh, I like that. He noticed and was like, hey, you know, because, she, you know, is sticking up for me, you know, I'll take whatever it is. But they are all about whatever they want to do, but they're not okay. Like if the younger sibling did it, it'd be like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with this because we're almost done, but I have to just tell you a quick funny story because we're talking about families and different dynamics and everything, and you have a big family, I have a big family, and we're all blended, and it's a blended, hey, sometimes it's sour, sometimes it's sweet, right? You never know what you're going to get in the blend, okay? But I'm here for all of it, but it was funny because my brother asked me today, he's like, you've never done the 23andMe, and we've had this conversation on air.
Because I have.
And I'm like,
so if you want to know for family members, I'm on there.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. And he's like, why? Why wouldn't you do that? I'm like, I don't fucking want to know. I don't want anyone to know who I am. I don't want to know anything. I am good. I have enough family. I don't need any more family. God forbid I have more fucking personalities to deal with. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's so much. It's a lot. And good for you if that's your journey and you want to find more people. And I think it's probably harder for those that have smaller families.
Yeah.
You know, those that have smaller families probably want to know more. But it was just funny because I was like, fuck no. I don't want to know any more people. Please, God, help me with what I have.
So when I did it, I found a cousin that I didn't know I had. One of my dad's brothers has a lot of kids. There are multiple women involved. And someone showed up as a first cousin. And I was like, I don't know this name. And it was like initials. And so I was like, oh, I don't know who this is. Like, kind of thinking my uncle had just passed away. Like, my mom's brother had passed away not long before that. And I was thinking, like, gosh, like, that couldn't be one of his. Like, he didn't have any kids that we know of, at least. We're pretty certain he didn't have any. And so I was like, and so I, like, start looking at it, and I noticed they're not related. I have two of my cousins on my mom's side that have done it, too. And we don't have any similar, like, in common. They're not related to this cousin. So I'm like, okay. So on Dad's side, so I'm like, oh my gosh. I asked my aunt, she's the oldest of the siblings. I asked her, hey, do you know? Blah, blah. And she was like, no, that, you know, he doesn't have any more kids, yada, yada. So then I I'm a stalker, so just so you guys know, I find her on Facebook, and I realize she's friends with two of my cousins. And so I message one of them, and I'm like, hey, like, so-and-so, is that someone's kid? And she tells me, so my uncle did have a kid, and they put the baby up for adoption. And so she actually did it to find family. However, I did try to friend her on 23andMe, or no, maybe I just sent her a message asking her, and she did not respond. And I don't know if it's because she doesn't get on there and she doesn't look at messages, because my cousin didn't accept me as a link for a long time. And I was like, what that day? You were like, I'm sorry, I haven't been on in months. And I'm like, because I was like, took you long enough.
Because it doesn't have its own app or something, or it's just a website.
There is an app, but you could go to the website too.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. I might have requested her on Facebook too, and she hasn't accepted me. I don't know. I'm gonna check on that. So I'll get back to you guys to let you know.
Maybe she's listening to the podcast and she's like, I want nothing to do with that crazy girl.
You know, I mean,
it could happen.
But her sisters like me. You know, her sisters and I are friends on Facebook, and we'll message here and there. And I mean, we're not super close or anything, but you know, I won't try to interject all these things into her life. You know, I'm not looking for, but maybe she's like, no, like I was just looking for siblings and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I put off a bad vibe.
Everyone is different.
Everyone is different.
I have learned in the last, I would say 10 years, we used to say this all the time. And maybe it's been 15 years. But we used to always say, everybody is different. And then it was no, everybody is different. And it's about finding the good and in yourself and in them, and not taking things so serious and just...
Yeah. No, you're right. I love what you said about, you know, even though Tony's family, it has a different dynamic than yours. One thing I love about his family is I think they were so amazing and open with you and T.
Yes.
As a parent, I can't imagine that would be super easy, right?
Yes.
Like your kid never been married, brings home a single mom, divorced single mom.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's the baby.
He's the baby, and also, by the way, this divorced single mom doesn't want to have more kids.
Yeah. And she's not even sure she wants to get married.
Right. And they were all, I feel like, all so loving and supportive of you. You know, and just whatever, accepted you guys, and he's the grandkid. It doesn't matter. You know, he's
his parents were amazing.
Yeah.
I'll still get emotional.
I know.
They are so amazing to her. And it's a testament of how good people just are.
Yeah.
You know, because they could have easily judged.
Yeah.
They could have easily.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his parents were married for how many years?
Right.
And, no divorce, none of that.
And that was brought up very early in our relationship. You know, someone brought that up, well, you know, how long have your parents been married? His parents been married.
You're a witch parent? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Which dad? No, I'm just kidding. But I love that you say you can take those good things from his family. You guys aren't the same, but you see these things that are great, and
I've implemented them in my family.
Yeah,
you know, and we've integrated that, and it's made our family better.
Right.
It's made our family stronger in just taking some things that they have that were so awesome and putting them into our family.
And not everything works, but like you said, find the good. Yeah. So sorry. I know I went a little longer than I was supposed to.
I know. Sorry. Anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks for swapping with us. And we will talk to you next week.